Hey guys, welcome to another edition of On Another Line. My name is Tyler Waller. If you guys are first tuning into my channel here, I appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button down there. It helps me more than you would possibly ever know. So today, this is going to be the first video in my Back to the Basics video series. The Back to the Basics video series is going to be talking about stuff that I take for granted that people may or may not know how to do. And today what we're going to talk about is how to tie a Texas rig to bait. Right now, so the first thing I want to talk about is weight stops or bobber stops or something to peg your weight. And I'll talk about what that's just for, or what it's for, in just a second. But this, literally bought 1,000 of these things, these bobber stops from Amazon for like $9. They were super cheap. They work really well. You can get them pretty much any color. I got black. So you need a bobber stop if you choose. You don't have to have a bobber stop, and I'll show you why, or you may or may not want one. It's totally your preference. I like them. You don't have to fish them if you don't want to. Two main necessities are going to be some sort of hook. This is an offset shank worm hook. And then I have a 5/16 ounce tungsten. This is a Strike King tour grade 5/16 ounce green pumpkin. So first and foremost, what you're going to need is, if you choose to use a bobber stop or a weight peg like this, you need to put this on your line first. So best thing to do with these here, there's a bunch of them. Hopefully you guys can see that. There's a bunch of little loops there. What you're going to do is you're going to put your line through one of those loops and kind of double it up. Best thing to do is wet that with some saliva or dip it in the lake, and you're just going to pull that weight or that bobber stop right off of there, and you're going to keep pulling it until the other end of your line comes off. So now it's off of my bobber stop keeper, and you can see that it's right here on my line. And if you wet this, you can move this up and down wherever you need to go. So that's the very first step. If you choose to use a bobber stop, you got to do that first. Next comes your weight. Again, this is just a slip sinker. This is a 5/16 ounce tungsten. Most people ask me why I fish tungsten as opposed to lead. I fish both. I fish tungsten when I can afford it. Guys, tungsten is expensive, don't get me wrong. It's really expensive. I won a bunch of tungsten last weekend at a BFL in Michigan at Detroit at the St. Clair, at Lake St. Clair. So that's definitely a good thing. But I purchased these at the tackle box. I think they're like $8 for 3 of them. Again, they are expensive. I do fish lead. I pour my own lead sinkers. So fish what you like. I do say that tungsten does give you a better feel on the bottom. It's more dense. It's, you know, this weight for a 5/16 ounce lead would be almost double the size of this. So that's one thing. It's more compact. It's more dense. Allows you to feel what's on the bottom. So we're going to thread that on the line, just like this here. And then if you notice here, if I move that back and forth, you can see that it actually goes down and hits that bobber stop or that sinker stop and doesn't go any farther. And I'll show you what that's for in just a minute. Next thing you're gonna need is some sort of worm hook. I like offset shank worm hooks. I do have flipping hooks. So let me grab one of those really quick, show you the difference. Grab one of these big boys here. So I grab this out really quick. This is a 5/0 VMC heavy duty flipping hook, and I'm gonna leave it on this white package. I think you'll see it better. You can see that there's a barb there and it's straight shanked. And the reason that is that it gives you better hook sets when you're pitching and flipping. Supposedly, I personally can't tell the difference, so I use offset shank worm hooks a lot of the time. But if you want to go with the pros, what they say, take their word into consideration. The flipping hook is what you should be using if you're flipping and pitching. I'm throwing this Texas rig way out and bringing it off of points. So I want something that I can get way out there, and I'm going to be dragging it over brush and stumps and grass and what have you. So that's why I like this. It keeps your line more straight with the bait, as opposed to if you're pitching and flipping. One of those heavy duty flipping hooks is what you want. So I'm going to tie my favorite hook, or my favorite knot on here for Texas rigs, and that is a double San Diego jam knot. You can pretty much tie any knot you want here, whichever one you like. You double the line up, and again, I apologize if you can't see this, but you double the line up, put it through the eye of your hook. Get some more line here. So it's almost like a Palomar knot, but we're going to double it up here. And then you're going to take this loop and you're going to wrap it around these loops here 3 or 4 times. Get a little bit more line out here so I can show you. It's really tough to do when there's no weight on the hook. This is 20-pound Sunline FC Sniper. And again, this fish is over there jumping. So again, this video is not about this knot. I'm tying it here really quick so you're not gonna be able to see it. Again, it's really tough to tie when you have 0 weight on the hook anyway. So tie your favorite knot there, whether it be a Palomar knot, string knot, regular fishing knot. I don't care if you tie a granny knot on there, whatever works for you the best. We're going to tie that on there, get it all nice and secure. This thing has 3 tag ends that you got to deal with and cut off, which is kind of a pain in the rear, but oh well. So I'm going to cut my 3 tag ends off here. All right, so now we have this. So I have my sinker here that will now go back and forth in between this and my bobber stop. And that is very important, and I'll show you why in my opinion. So I'm going to take one of my favorite baits. This is a Zoom Speed Crawl. This is green pumpkin purple. We're going to start on the belly of this thing. So the eyes are up here on top. We're going to start on the belly. We're going to take the hook and we're going to put it through the back section here just a little ways down, and then we're going to pull it out the center, the belly of the hook. And then what you're going to do is you're going to push this hook all the way down, and then when you get to this little bend right here, you're going to turn the hook 180 degrees. So you're going to turn it in your bait there. So that's going to then cause your hook to be pointing towards the belly of your whatever bait you're looking at. It could be a worm, it could be whatever. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this worm, this crawl, and I'm going to bend it just a hair. And what that does, that gives me some leeway, and I push my hook all the way through the bait. The reason I push it all the way through the bait is that I feel like you get a better hook set with that. But you're not just going to leave it exposed like that. You're going to take this hook and you're going to bury it up in the bait so it's weedless. So that's a basic Texas rig there. So if I take this bobber stop, I'm going to wet my fingers so it doesn't burn my line. I'm going to pull this bobber stop all the way to the bait. So notice now that this thing does not move when I move my bait. So why do you need a peg, or why do you need to stop your line like this, or should you? Here's why I do it. Take it or leave it. Again, it's a personal preference. I do it because I feel like that. Let's just pull this bobber stop up. Let's just do a little demonstration. So if you don't have your sinker pegged like this, let's just say that you're going up over a log and then your sinker hits over that log, and guess what? It's going to pull your line down. Well, you got a better chance of hooking whatever you're going into as far as brush or a stump or whatever. Also, you can't feel that bait as well. When you feel that thump on the bottom of this thing, 9 times out of 10, if you're like me, you're going to think you got a bite. So that's one of the main reasons that I put a bobber stop here or a weight stop on my Texas rigs. That way it'll come up and over stuff and be more weedless in the end. So that's how you tie a Texas rig. If this helped you guys, go ahead and share it on your social media. Go over and add me on Instagram at OnAnotherLine. I'm also on Twitter and Facebook as well. Appreciate you guys checking out my channel. Again, my name is Tyler Waller. You're watching On Another Line. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you notice, or you'll get notified when I actually upload some new videos. Until next time, guys, lean on them, and I'll see you next time.